Hi, I'm going to do a quick video on why I'm not a fan of virtue signaling. And first I'm going to explain what virtue signaling is. It's just when people show off that they know that they're hating the right things, or they think the right things are wrong or bad. That's what virtue signaling is. So, social media is like perfect for virtue signaling. And our minds are wired to want to show that we're good people and show that we think correctly or show that we're smart and feel like, you know, other people get us and like that we want validation. That's it. So virtue signaling is just kind of like along the lines, you know, it's very ego-based or whatever. So I'm going to contrast that with, like, say, there's these people that help elephants. So elephants are certain type of animal used in circuses and stuff like that, and whales too, whatever. I mean, there's so many ways you can go with this, but there are people who rescue elephants and they save elephants. So at some point, someone saw elephants being mistreated and decided, this is terrible, this is awful. And then in their heart, there was an action step. So an action step arose that said, you should rescue elephants. And okay, what do I do? And so then you, through your heart, because it's a heart pull, it's your calling, they got pulled to rescue elephants. And then the first action step was get land, get money, get funding, whatever it was. So it's not virtue signaling when it's a calling. Like Mother Teresa, she, you know, helped large groups of people. If she probably wouldn't have even had a Facebook page if she could, you know, there was too much work to be done, stuff like that. But, you know, someone say saving elephants, they're called to do that. And then they may say, you know, they may go out and go, this is terrible, this is terrible. And they're like, oh my God. But then an action step arises. And that's not what I'm calling virtue signaling. So virtue signaling to me is a cause without any action steps at all. It's just somebody just yelling out like, isn't this awful? This is awful. Look what I found that's so terrible. And, you know, our human brains are computers and they're wired to look for danger and, you know, potentially harmful situations, circumstances, and things. One of the problems with virtue signaling is that it's people are trying. I always say trying is not doing, but in virtue signaling, people are trying to be relevant. They're trying to show, I see this, like I know about this, and this is awful, and they're bringing people's attention, and so then they think they're doing a good thing. And this is why I'm making this video, is because people who virtue signal often feel and believe that they're doing a good thing, raising awareness and telling everybody this horrible thing's happening. The issue that I have is that they don't, it's not productive. So this is what I'm talking about. Virtue signaling is not a productive thing to do, and it's also, it grows anger, rage, fear, resentment, negativity, all kinds of negative stuff. And it's not just you, you know, being enraged. It's letting everybody else be enraged. Or it could be too that you're doing something good and you want everyone to see that you're a good person. I'm good. And we all want to be loved and valued. And we all want people to think we're doing the right thing, or that we're valuable, or we want to have all the likes, you know. Everybody wants likes for the most part. Why I'm making this video now is because there's so many people thinking that they're doing good, raising the vibration, and they're actually lowering it. They're lowering their own vibration personally, and they're they're lowering the collective vibration. So anytime you raise your vibration, you're going to raise the collective. Anytime you lower your vibration, you're going to lower the collective. But people who are virtue signaling are not just lowering their own and the collective vibration, they're taking other people down with them. I still bless them, forgive them, respect their free will choice to do that, and love them. I'm making this video to explain why I'm not a fan of virtue signaling, because I see it as people thinking they're raising the vibration when they're actually lowering the vibration. That's why I'm making this video. If they're so the people who rescue and save elephants, they see something in the world that they think is wrong, that needs to be fixed in some way, shape, or form. They do some research. You know, at some point they look for information. Oh my God, how many elephants are treated like this? Oh my God, what does it take to rescue an elephant? What does it take to take care of an elephant? On and on. So they do their research, and then action steps arise that they take in order to do this mission. If it's their mission, if it's their calling, action steps will arise from their heart. The right people will come and help them. So they'll have to do a little bit of virtue signaling in the beginning, like, oh my God, these poor elephants, we have to do something. Then the other people are like, yeah, let's do something. Then they do something. That's not virtue signaling at that point. You're setting up a resolution to something that you see as a problem. So you're actually, these people rescuing and saving elephants right now, they're making the world a better place, because and then when they put it out to the world, the information out to the world, they're saying this horrible thing is happening with elephants. This is what we're doing about it, and here's how you can help. You can donate your time, you can come visit and pay to see the elephants in this park, or you can just send money. Here's our address, whatever. So that's not virtue signaling, because they've taken action steps and they've created avenues for other people to join in the resolution. So they've created some kind of a fix or some kind of a way to make the world better, and then they've created avenues. So if I don't want to go to, I don't have a heart pull to go to Africa and help right now, you know, I don't have the time to go donate to shovel poop, but I could send money. So there's a way for me to help. Now, they're still saying this horrible thing is happening, but they're giving us, whoever's watching, all the people that they're putting it out to, they're giving us a way to help towards the resolution of whatever issue that they see, which is their calling to take care of. That's not virtue signaling, because everybody watching is on the same page. What the toxic form, what the toxic form of virtue signaling that I have an issue, that I am not a fan of, what that is, the toxic form of virtue signaling is get angry with me, get upset with me, and then there's nothing to do about it other than bitch, complain, scream, and whine, and share and stay wallowing in this emotion. So the Renegade Yogi cups that I'm making have, you know, you feel your healings, you feel them, and you receive holistic benefits from those feelings instead of wallowing in some other negative feeling, resulting in some sort of an emotional block. So if I'm just sad and I don't feel my feelings of sadness, and I don't feel the sadness to release it, and I say, okay, what's here? There's sadness. What is this here for? What is it trying to tell me? So there's sadness, because I wouldn't be yawning right now if there wasn't. I feel my healing feeling of sadness so that I release it. But there's going to be information in that sadness, and by feeling it to release it and putting in my spirit in charge, I'm going to keep myself from getting depressed. I started making these videos because I found myself saying the same things to people over and over and over, and then I just make a fast video to get it out, and then I could say, watch this, you know, or send it to them or whatever, and I wouldn't have to use my time to be repeating information. Then, you know, I use these videos to, when I feel something, like I feel frustrated by the virtue signaling. So I feel, and then I say, okay, I'm just going to make a video. There's a burp clearing, and So I make a video and then I can clear out the frustration or whatever it is. Yeah, so virtue signaling, I'm not a fan of it, but actually it frustrates me because it's just people winding each other up without any sort of helpful resolution. The thing is, when you have a heart calling, when there's something that bothers you in some way, shape, or form, you're like, this is a problem for the entire world. This should be fixed. And you meditate on it, you say, do I have a heart connection to this? Is there a pull here? If there's a pull, if there's a heart pull, it's probably part of your calling, your soul path, your spiritual calling. If it's part of your calling, then action steps will arise. Yes, quit your job, move to Africa, buy this land, and then start saving elephants. Or, no, it's not. Well, is there someone doing this work? There's still some sort of research involved. There's still some sort of legwork. Looking up. If I see elephants being mistreated, then my first step, besides feeling sad, is somebody doing something about this? Yes? Okay, let me read about them. Let me research. Maybe there's 5 different places. Maybe one place is total crap. Maybe one place is just taking people's money and not doing anything. I have to research. My money going to a place that's low vibrational is just stealing money and just like not doing the work. That's my money gone and it doesn't serve anyone. I do the research on any place that I'm about to donate money to. I do the research. I find the best place. There's philanthropy societies that have websites that have given all these charities grades. And the higher the grade, it means the more pennies on the dollar go towards the resolution of whatever it's taking money for. But you have like the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, they don't show their books. So they're not saying, so they don't have a grade, last I checked, but which was, I don't know, 8 years ago. They don't have a grade because their books are incomplete because they won't show. Well, maybe I don't want to give to a charity that's not going to tell me how many pennies on the dollar. How much are you paying your employees? How much are you paying the people at the top? And how much is actually going to the research, whatever. So you get the idea. So something bothers me, I look into it. First thing, whether it's elephants or the front page of the newspaper or any kind of news that's coming out, all the news that's coming out. People are running out and virtue signaling it, or they're getting it on Facebook and they're not questioning it. They're not using the 5th agreement. Be skeptical, but learn to listen. They're catching this news and then they're regurgitating, they're pushing it back out there. Be angry with me. Be hateful with me. Hate this. Or they're, the other virtue signaling is, I did this and I did all this. And it's like, some of that, like letting people know that there's a soup kitchen and that they need help, that's not what I'm talking about either. What I'm talking about is be angry with me, be mad with me, be upset with me. What can we do about it? Let's just be mad and angry and upset, and let's just wallow in that without using that to move us in a direction that is helpful. So that's what I'm speaking. This is why I don't like the toxic form of virtue signaling. Is completely unproductive in society and in the world. It's not just unproductive. It lowers the vibration, the individual's vibration and the collective vibration. That's fine. I forgive it. I bless it. Love you anyway. I respect your free will choice to do all that. Why I'm making this video is because I've found people in my course of life. I've found people that they virtue signal and they think they're doing something good. They think they're raising the vibration because they think that they're bringing awareness to some injustice. So they have every intention of raising the vibration, but they're actually lowering the vibration. They're actually lowering their own vibration and the collective vibration. And there's some people that have, some sort of a megaphone in society, whether it's a TV show or a microphone in some way, shape, or form. And they have a bigger platform. They have some sort of a platform. And they think by calling out all this, be mad with me, be upset with me, they think they're doing something good. And they're actually really taking the collective vibration in a direction that they don't they don't realize. There are people intentionally lowering the vibration, like the mainstream media. They, you know, Brian Williams, he's how he says, you know, it's my job to scare the hell out of people. He's right, it is. It's his job to scare people and make them want to, have to feel like they have to watch the news every night. Have to come back. You got to find out what's happening. You got to watch. And if you look at stories through the years, the stories that the mainstream media has taken one story and just made it humongous. And it's day in, day out of that story, that story, that story. And how many minutes and moments and hours and actual days, sometimes weeks. The O.J. Simpson trial was like a year long. How much of people's time did they, you know, use watching, waiting for resolution? This is what's happening. And this is how this person feels about it. And this is how this person feels. This is how all these people feel about it. And this is what's happening. But it's not resolved yet. It's not resolved yet. Keep watching though, because maybe, just maybe tomorrow, we'll have some resolution. So keep watching, because the people who are watching the news are not the people writing the paychecks for the people whose job it is to scare the hell out of you. So they are paid to scare you. They are paid to lower your vibration to a fear-based 100. They're paid to actually do that. Same as advertising for products. They're paid to make you feel like you aren't good enough without this product. You look too old, so you need this skin cream. You're too fat, so you need these pills or this diet or this or that. You know, or you don't look right, so you need this surgery, or you know, you need this because you're not okay. So and I have no problem with consumerism, because it provides lots of jobs, and people who buy a lot of stuff, they give a lot of stuff away. So like, they buy it, they use it, or they don't use it, and they end up giving it. And so it gets like, I gave all of my, well, that's going to sound like virtue signaling, but you know, there's always someone who can use your old stuff that you don't want anymore or can't use anymore. But again, you research. So you know, if the Goodwill is just gonna throw away your child's toys because they don't want to put all the little parts out, then you do that research, and then you give that toy to someone who will use it, and then they'll give it to someone who will use it, and on and on and on. Or you can sell stuff. It doesn't matter. Whatever. That is not what this is about. But my whole point, this video is for people who don't understand why I'm not a fan of virtue signaling. It's because with the intention and the ego mind telling them that they are raising the vibration and that they're doing a good thing, they're actually lowering their own vibration and they're lowering the collective vibration. And depending on how, like, so people who have a naturally high vibration have more eyes on them, and people who have more charisma and can speak way better than me, you know, they have bigger audiences, so they'd have more eyes on. And if those people are virtue signaling, so if they're just like, be angry with me, this is horrible, be mad with me, let's this is fucking bullshit, let's all call it out, this sucks, with no resolution, then what happens is those people are unintentionally, unconsciously lowering their own vibration, the collective vibration, and they're pulling all these people down with them. And why do people virtue signal? Well, they want to feel like good people. They want to feel relevant. All these people, we want to be relevant. You know, people want to be relevant to the world at this moment. And how can you be relevant? Well, I know what's going on. See, I know about this. I know about that. And the people who are relevant to themselves, that's the way to go. When you're relevant to yourself, you're like, is this a heart pull for me to rescue elephants? Yes or no. You know, if it's not a heart pull, but I still don't like it, what can I do? Research, and then I figure out what to do. I'm going to send money to this charity, because it costs a lot to take care of an elephant. Or, you know, if I was a filmmaker, I could get in contact with those people and say, hey, would you like me to make a film about the way you rescue elephants and how you get, and then we can get it set up on this, or maybe I can get some investors. So, you know, virtue signaling is fine. There are people who do it intentionally. They're trying to lower the collective vibration. They're trying and working at keeping people in fear. And so they're doing it on purpose. That's not who I'm talking to right now, because those people know what they're doing. They've done studies and they're doing a great job of keeping people in fear. They're doing a great job of keeping people upset, and keeping them coming back so that the advertiser space is worth more. Advertisers do a great job of making people feel too fat, too ugly, not enough, not good enough. I'll love myself when I'm 20 pounds lighter, or I'll love myself when my skin looks younger. I'll love myself when I do this or that. All the people, that's not who I'm talking to. Those people who are involved in intentionally lowering the vibration or making you feel like you're not good enough, those people are doing their job, what they get paid to do, to make you feel inferior, make you feel like you need their product to feel better, to look better, to feel better about yourself, The only people I'm really talking to are the people who maybe are virtue signaling and thinking they're doing something good. And because it does feel good. It feels good when you say, oh, this is an injustice, this is bullshit, this is gross, it feels good to the ego. But if you can look in your heart and see, is there a pull? Is there a calling here? If not, then when you find something that bothers you and you feel those feelings of this is an injustice, do some research then. And then when you feel like posting on social media about how horrible this thing is or this injustice, then you could put in there how someone can help. So, yeah. So why I'm not a fan of virtue signaling? It's people thinking they're raising the vibration, but they're lowering it. It's people trying to be relevant. Trying is not doing. And so here's why. When people virtue signal, they are not doing anything to fix the problem that they think they're fixing. So it feels to the ego like them calling out this injustice or this hateful, horrible something. It makes them feel like they're doing something, when what they're doing is they're feeding the problem as they're bitching loudly about it. So they're feeding their ego. Their ego's going, you're such a good person because you hate the right thing. You're right, this is right. You're right, this is awful. So it feeds their ego, feeds that, yeah, I'm a good person. So the ego manifests through security, recognition, and control. And so recognition would be the ego manifestation of the virtue signaling. Recognize me. I'm smart. I know the right things to like. I know the right things to hate. Recognize me. I'm awesome. Recognize me. Look at me. Look at me. I feel the right way. So what changes virtue signaling into something productive would be action steps, research, and then action steps. And then feel the feelings to release them. But when you virtue signal, you're taking the issue that you see, you're feeding, you're putting energy, you're putting your own negative, hateful energy because you're hating this thing. I hate this thing. Hate it with me. I'm upset by this thing. Get upset with me. And you're feeding that negative energy into the problem. So virtue signaling actually feeds the issue while you're bitching about it. While you're complaining and while you're feeling awful, you're taking this emotion, this charged, I'm so angry, I'm so upset, oh, be bad with me, yeah. And you're just bringing all those people along to wallow in that hatefulness or that anger, that upsetness. You're wallowing in it. And it's not productive because you don't leave that. You're all just still there, wallowing around in your anger, wallowing around, and your frustration and your anger and your upset, you're just wallowing around. So what makes it not virtue signaling is research and action steps. Follow your heart. Your heart will tell you what to do. I don't want to go to Africa. Sorry. I can send you money. Now I feel better because I did something towards towards something. Now I feel better. So that's what it is. Virtue signaling, the toxic form of virtue signaling, feeds your negative, hateful energy into the actual problem and makes it worse. And it keeps it there. So what we resist persists. That hate has no home here is like a perfect example. Hate has no home here. Okay, well, hate is the subject of your sentence. So actually, when you say hate has no home here, that's exactly where hate lives. It lives right there with you. You know, the sign's in your front yard. Hate has no home here. Hate is the subject of your sentence. And so your energy is going there, whether you like it or not. This is how the law of attraction works. I didn't create it. This is what you're doing. You're feeding hate. You're feeding hate. Because what you're doing is you think you're calling out hate. You think you're calling it out to erase it. You think you're calling it out to say, it doesn't live here. I've created a space where there's no hate. Well, actually, you're full of hate because that's the subject of your sentence. That's what you're talking about. So that's what you're feeding. So that's what you're creating because you're talking, thinking, speaking. This is the law of attraction. You're creating more hate. So if you just get up and you virtue signal and you say how awful something is, you're feeding your negative energy, talking and feeding this awful, awful thing. So you're actually perpetuating it. What we resist persists. So you're resisting this negative, awful thing that you have no action steps to move out of and clear out and fix, you know. There's no resolution. There's no resolution. It's just toxic virtue signaling. Your energy is feeding the problem. It's just fueling the fire, fueling the fire. You're just feeding it, putting logs on that fire. I hate this fire. I'm going to put another log on it. I hate this fire. Hate it with me. Put your logs on this fire too. Feed it. Come on, put your logs here. Thinking, and your ego's going, you're a good person. You're doing what you can do to get rid of all the hate. You're actually feeding it. So, toxic virtue signaling feeds what you think, what your ego tells you you're eradicating or clearing out or getting rid of. You're actually feeding it. How do you not? Well, you have to calm your mind. Okay? Meditate, calm your mind. Sorry, meditation, calming the mind is always going to be the answer to every problem. It's always. If I hate this, oh my God, I'm so upset. What choice has ever been made from that mental state that's been awesome? When have you ever made a decision or taken some sort of action step from this state of mind where you're like, that was the best thing? You know, the clear head. So you need to calm down. You need to calm down. There are people trying to lie to you. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. I don't think you're fat. I don't think you're ugly. So the people telling you that you are fat or ugly and you need their products, they're lying to you because you're perfect just the way you are. You're fine. You don't need that skin product. If you want to get it, get it. If you think it's going to make you feel better, then get it. You're not fat to me. I think you're great. But, you know, if you want to go on that diet, go on that diet. But the people who tell you that you're fat or ugly or stupid, or the people who tell you that are wrong. They're lying to you. And that's it. And they're making money off of you because you're buying into their lies. So if you hear something you don't like, research it, you know. If I see someone on television that's more attractive in some way, shape, or form, and I'm like, oh, I feel kind of fat. Maybe that's my soul saying, yeah, you know, you could stand to lose a few. That'd be good. You know, then you'd fit back into your hang gliding clothes that you used to love. So like that kind of stuff. But people are lying. They are lying. They're getting paid to lie. That's their job. Like it or not. They're not all, not everybody is telling you the truth. And it's not even them lying on purpose. Someone else behind the scenes, two scenes behind, are giving them this stuff. They think that they're saying what's true, you know. It's okay. It's all right. Just meditate. You know, we'll all be out of here in, you know, probably in the next 100 years. Everybody that I'm talking to is probably going to be dead. So does it really matter? Are you really so upset? You know, like, I can't believe how many people have just turned everything into politics. And I say it's like fighting over one color in a rainbow. That red should really be redder than that. There is so much awesome on this planet. There's so many amazing people. Really, really good people. Beautiful inside and out. They're doing really good things. So many. If there weren't, it would be worse. Trust me. There's billions of people on the planet right now. So if there was as many bad people as some people would like you to think there is, you wouldn't still be here. You'd be dead. Okay? Love you. If you want to keep virtue signaling, go right ahead. I love it. I forgive it. I bless it. And I respect your free will choice to do so. But if you're doing it and you're wondering, why doesn't it feel good? How come my vibration's not going up? I keep talking about all these horrible things that are happening. How come I don't feel good? Why am I getting sick? Because you're virtue signaling. You're doing the toxic form of virtue signaling. But I love you anyway. I love you anyway. Thanks.